Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Future Identity Now. I'm Laura Camperson, I'm the Future Identity Portfolio Lead, and today I'm joined by one of our regular and most favourite contributors and speakers, Martin, Director of Digital Strategic Studies at Societe Generale Bank. Hi Martin, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
And Martin, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself for everyone listening and tell us about your role as Director of Digital Strategic Studies and what that involves?
My role is primarily focusing on searching the most fruitful and bright opportunities on the market, following the latest innovative trends in finance, in technologies, in digital at all, and explore them, whether there is some future value for our clients and how we can apply them on our world, on our interaction with clients, and how we can bring them to the future clients' everyday life to simplify it or to bring additional value or experience or satisfaction. So very simply in a nutshell.
Fantastic, and obviously there's a huge amount of innovation around digital happening in the financial services sector at the moment. So let's talk about some of the ways that digital innovation in banking can enable progress in other areas. And one which I'd like to start by touching on as Future Identity Lead. I'm always interested to hear about digital identity. So how can banks power the adoption of digital ID?
We can say that digital identity has many ways of usage. Simply said, we can just follow the 360-degree view of the everyday life of our client, and we will find in every place possible usage of it in a way how to simplify our everyday life, how to make it more fine, more comfortable, and how as well as enrich the interaction together. And if we will start with the way when the bank knows you, because you went already through the KYC procedure with your bank, we could say that the bank can as well as be one of that providers of your digital identity. So if we will use this role and this way of flow of data, if I may say so, we can say that you can use your bank as your digital ID on behalf of the usual plastic card issued by the government. And if you do so, you can use it typically in Baltic countries under name of Bank ID, or in the Czech Republic as well, using the same name. And you can access either the digital services of the e-government, of the municipalities, or even at selected commercial partners and third parties. So simply said, if you, for example, wish to switch your energy provider or your telco services provider, there is no more need to access such providers' physical branch in person in strictly given time and place. But for example, as I did last, the national counting of Czech citizens, you can sit abroad with a glass of wine in your hand during the Saturday's evening, and just taking your mobile phone in one hand and going very simply through this, of course, obligatory procedure in a much more comfortable way. And this is exactly how does it work. So we are simplifying life. We are making experience more nicer, more fruitful, and more satisfying.
Absolutely, all about making things easier and more streamlined for the customer. And you'll be joining us at our Future Identity and FinTech Talents Festival in November. I know that you're taking part in a panel discussion titled, "Is Digital Identity ready for mainstream adoption? I would imagine from everything you've just said that your answer would be yes, and in many ways that it already is adopted in the mainstream in so many of those examples that you listed where the bank ID is up and running. So we'll look forward to going into that in more detail at the event.
If you will just mention that it is not only the mass production by customers, but as well as we can speak about the mass adoption by that other consumers, so these interconnected partners in this ecosystem, as well as from this point of view and from this perspective, the identity is already ready to be used in a large scale in everyday's life. So there are no doubts that we are already ready. And just as another teaser for our upcoming event, there is ongoing the EU-wide digital identity wallet within the new regulation, which we call eIDAS 2.0. And this is something what will touch every one of EU citizens and what will for sure transform and change our daily lives. So this is something what we have not to have doubts that it will be ready for mass adoption, because it is already today.
Absolutely. And you're wearing a few different hats at the festival in November. You're also joining a panel on our FinTech Talent stage. And I know, Martin, that you're passionate about the potential for digital innovation in banking and finance to really accelerate sustainable finance. So I'd just like to talk about that a little as well. Can you tell me about some of the really exciting initiatives in the area? How are we seeing banks powering sustainable finance and using technology to really monitor the impacts of those efforts as well?
Thank you. You just touched my really favorite innovative topic in the banking. And yes, we can see this as well as through different angles and different points of view again, because banks have to fulfill the regulatory requirement to gather and report ESG data. This is one side, very formal one. But let's focus on maybe more fruitful one. And this is exactly the digital innovative services for retail customers or for small businesses. And as banks, we can say already, are not more only like financial providers or provider of financial services, but more or less these are like huge data stores, and we could say as well as software houses, which produce and as well as process huge amounts of flows of data. We can just think what's behind the data, and in majority we can speak about transactional data, and if we say so, behind each of your transaction is possible some carbon footprint. Because these transactions are just the footprint of your own behavior. And if we will just try to understand this behavior and this carbon footprint in combination of both, we can assume what the client is doing, how he's behaving, and if we have enough information, we can as well as play the role of advisor, how possibly behave better, and how we can achieve much more brighter green future of all of us, because there is no more time to wait or think, but we have to act, everybody of us. And I really like one saying which I'm using very often in my speeches, and this is that this like everyday daily action of every one of us could be these small raindrops which in the end are becoming the ocean of that great sustainable change.
I really like that. It's very inspiring, and I would imagine as well that opening up of data could give consumers more power to take control over their carbon footprints and really to see the impact that they're having through financial decisions as well, and gives kind of a benefit to them and puts control back towards the consumer.
I'm highly passionate about the openness, about creation of ecosystems and platforms. And if you just view these topics, identity and sustainability, from these angles, we can speak that we can start to build the eco-oriented ecosystems where we can put together as banks as well as third parties and partners across various areas, either as a green energy providers or providers of, for example, housing changes or energy efficiency changes. We can put together sharing of means of transport, for example, or as well as we can partner with producers of electric vehicles, and we can bring to the market new financial models and new ownership models of them, because if you, for example, compare just the buying price, you can have doubts if you want to buy or not a new EV compared to the old gasoline car. Yeah. But in the end, the whole total cost of ownership is absolutely lower, and it's incomparable. I did some of these calculations before I bought a EV for our family, and it pays off in some situations like in 2 or 3 years, and then you are saving a huge amount of money. And if we can come up as banks to our clients with such ideas and such ways of financing, we can as well as like just amplify this huge change and transformation of our lives.
Yeah. So streamlining processes and, really putting the benefits out there and making consumers aware of how they can make the best decisions for their financial lives and futures. No, that's fantastic. As I say, Martin, it's always really inspiring to chat to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again at the festival on the 14th and 15th of November. And apart from the 2 panel sessions that you'll be joining, what are you most looking forward to about the event in November?
For sure that people tell me that I'm like a technology optimist or innovative optimist. I'm looking forward for the opening keynote of Prakash Patni, the director of digital transformation of IBM, who will speak about how to accelerate innovations in financial services. For sure, I'm as well as looking for the overall stage of digital identity, where we'll just be changing on the stage really interesting speakers. And just from my perspective, last but not least, as well as the stage of building a better industry which will take care about sustainability and combination of sustainability and banking, for sure I will put in my schedule as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's such a lot of amazing content lined up, so really looking forward to seeing you there, and I'm personally looking forward to just bringing the community back together again. It's going to be great. So thank you for taking the time to chat to me today, and I look forward to seeing you next month at the festival.
Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm looking forward to see you soon in person in London, and for sure I'm looking forward to get a lot of inspiration and to bring it to our customers through our services within SG.
Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you, and see you soon. Goodbye.